Hello and welcome to part 3 of floppy drives on the issue 5 board that's destined for Kickstarter 3. In the previous couple of videos I've looked at individual drives, I've looked at loading, saving and formatting disks, and then Tim one-upped me. Well, I kind of asked him to prove that he had managed to get 2 drives working at the same time, and of course he did, because he's very clever and he has better drives than me. He has more traditional drives that are more Shugart friendly than the ones I've been using. These are PC drives effectively from the Acorn A3000, and I had 2 of them. One of them's now gone a bit funny because I think I had the spinny bit on the bottom was in contact with this rubber mat and it was causing the motor to maybe burn out a bit. So I'm down to one of these at the moment. And I've paired it up with a Gotek. Because with Gotek you can configure them pretty much however you want. This Gotek is running in Shugart mode. The Gotek is on the end of this twisted part of the ribbon, and the 3.5-inch drive is in the middle. This is the Don Superfo interface that I'm using. It's a smaller form factor than the one I was using previously, which is this one here. Although this one here does have the jumpers for drive select, so 2 jumpers for that and ready as well. Don Superfo has the ready jumper only. Hence we have the twist in the cable. The other thing that I've done is I've gone back to my power supply and I have put together some Molex goodness here. If we can just kind of see this here. So this is a DIN connector which connects to my power supply. My power supply provides 2 12s, 2 5s and 2 grounds. So you have wired the Molex in here, and we split the Molex in 2. So we've got this branch of the Molex presenting 5-volt Berg connectors for each of these 3.5-inch because they only need 5 volts. And then on this split of the connector we've got the full 12 and 5 volts coming through here, but they are reversed. So as you can see here, this yellow becomes red. I've basically swapped them over because the Amstrad drives, PCW drives, have a reversed 5 and 12. So when you put these in, the polarity is correct and you're not going to blow anything up. So, you know, with this arrangement I can connect 2 3.5s, 2 3-inches, or a 3-inch and a 3.5, no problem. And all I have to do is plug this end into my power supply and the drives are up. So what I'm going to do today is show you these 2 working now that Tim's already done it, installed the Thunder, but I thought I'd go back to Don's interface. I'd see if I could get this thing working. Let me just fire up the OSSC onto the VGA. Now, the extra thing I wanted to test today was multiface. So 2 drives and multiface. And to do that, I've created a new personality, really. I've taken the config from the +2A +3, and I've added the Multiface ROM into the line. And if you don't know how to do that, I'll show you how to do that after, if I remember, hopefully. I'll also put a link to Tim's video who got 3.5-inch or 2 3.5-inch drives working first. So I just don't want to get ahead of myself. I need to plug these drives in, give them power before I do anything else. Let's get this connector lined up. There we go. Just so you can see there, actually the Gotek is on. And I'm just going to start this up. We can see loading Multiface ROM just popped up there very briefly. And I need to run the out commands. So ignore any out commands that I've run previously. Well, actually don't ignore them, just ignore the first one. This one here was wrong. It was disabling the AY and maybe some other things as well, which meant that when you were trying to load 1 to 8K games, it thought you had a 48K spectrum because it didn't detect the AY. and therefore the outcode was previously 9531,0, but it should be 223. And then the other two app commands are as you would expect. We've got 129, 8 as before, and then 9275,128, going out 9531,8 again. And that's that. So this should start up with a reset. And what I should be able to do now is cat. Now, what drive I have here is anybody's guess. Let me just switch back to the big screen. I've got a number of blank floppies in here. I've got a number of games in here as well. And I think on one of my 720K disks, I have the M format command. I'm just going to switch back actually. Let me just do a cat A, which is the GoTech. I've installed a speaker on the GoTech, but it's very quiet. Okay. Oh, second that wrong. I'm just going to load in M format. Did I call it that? I'll soon find out. I think I called it .bats, didn't I? .bats. Short-term memory, you see. And I've spelled it wrong as well, so this is a great start, isn't it? Let me just confirm. mformat.bats, okay. Such a quiet speaker I've got in this GoTech, you can barely hear it. Okay, so there is M format. I'm going to run that. I'm going to switch disk on the GoTech now to a different one. It's my first blank here. And as I did before, really, we're going to select the format. It's a 720K disk, so we're going to format it to 708, option 6. We're going to turn verify off, and then we're going to format the disk. And I'm probably going to speed this up. Benny Hill style, have a drink. Nice. Don't know if you can hear that clicking away. So I've already proven formatting, of course, but I've not been able to get two drives working at the same time, which now I have. So once I've formatted this, I'm going to format this physical. Now, one thing you can probably see from here, if the video is good enough, is that the 3.5-inch floppy is also flashing when the GoTech is moving between tracks. And I think it's just getting the signal. There's no kind of motor on going to this drive, but it is something maybe about the arrangement, and maybe that can be fixed down the line, and I'll probably come to that at the end of the video. There was something else I was supposed to look at. Oh yeah, it was the personality and adding the multiface, because I will forget by the time I get to the end of this. I just shoot these in one continuous take, and yeah, I should probably make notes. So that format is now complete, and what I'll also do is I'll change drive to B, and then the format is the same because it's a conventional 720K disk. Verify off and format disk. You're going to make a liar out of me, are you? Ah, yeah. This is something that I need to be really careful of. I need to get this drive in some kind of case, because where it was leaning on this 3-inch drive, it's actually preventing the thing from spinning. So I'm probably just going to find something. I've been using a piece of wire actually, just to kind of see if I can get it to not sit badly. And there we go. So, you know, if you do that often enough, the drive will probably just die like my old one did. That's exactly what happened to my old one. So I have ordered some 3D printed cases for the 3.5s and the Gotek as well, because I just don't like kind of exposed wires and things that don't look quite complete. To help with the testing as well, I got my HXC out. This is my dead HXC, which had a faulty screen and the, let's get that big. I do love the HXC, but it had a faulty screen and this connector as well was damaged, so I've replaced the screen. It was about £2 from AliExpress, and then I got some new connectors as well, so I've now got a fully operational, another HXC. Okay, so that's both drives formatted successfully. So the next thing probably is to look at Multiface. And I know nothing about Multiface. I think I did a video about it once a long time ago, but I can't remember how it's meant to operate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load a game. I'm going to play that game, and then I'm going to snapshot it to floppy disk, or the Gotek probably in this case. So if I just get this, let's keep switching camera. If I just get this to, see if I want to do that. Yes, if I get to the root and then into my original folder, and something that's 128K. Cybernoid 2 always had great music, in my opinion. So Cybernoid 2 is ready there. I'm just going to reset this. And the one thing I think I mentioned, some little niggles earlier, is that when I do load this game, the drive underneath starts to kick off a bit, and it takes a while, and then the drive stops kicking off, and then the thing loads. So there must be a cross wire or something somewhere. Anyway, is it going to do that? Let's see. Maybe not. Ah, here we go again. Making nice fuzzy noises here. Doesn't sound good, does it? And this is something I've asked him to confirm as well, to see whether he gets anything like that. And there we go. Now I've not got a joystick plugged in here. Let me just turn the volume down on the TV. Actually, that's my internal speaker. I forgot. Got my internal speaker on in here, so it's quite noisy. Don't think I can really switch that off now, can I? No. Oh well. So, if I start the game here, just go here. Now, presumably, I press the NMI, the multiface comes up. Now, some people have said you should switch the multiface off when you're snapshotting a game. I don't really understand the ins and outs of it. Maybe someone can clarify, someone who owned one back in the day, or isn't stupid like me. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to snapshot it, but obviously I don't want to be using the Cybernoid 2 floppy, or virtual floppy. So I'm just going to spin this back to the root and go back to my blanks here. Must be a quicker way of getting back to the root as well. Okay, so blank. So this is actually what I've put in here now. It's going to be the 720K disc that I formatted just before. I don't think you can see the writing on that, maybe to see that it's D720-1. But yeah, so if I go to save and then call it Cybernoid 2, okay, and then I want to save it to disk, D, and then the screen will go a bit funny. And then this drive should start to kick in. It's going through the tracks and the sides, writing the current state. And as you can see as well, the 3.5 inches flashing as it was before when we were doing the format. So that has now finished snapshotting that game, and I should be able to just return. And I'm back in the room. I'm not going to play this because I really need a joystick for it, and I can't remember how to switch weapons, so forgive me, it's been years since I played this. Now, if I now reset this, I've still got this floppy disk that I've written the image to here. If I just cat that, you'll see that the SideLoad2 file is on there. There you go, CN2. And if I now just check Multiface, I should be able to just load this. CN2 load. Try that. Here we go. Accessing the drive. And we are back in the room. So yeah, I really like that. I mean, it's kind of silly because you can snapshot games, you know, in the Next itself. You know, you can use SD cards and the like. But there's just something about doing that, even though it's, you know, it's a virtual floppy. It's not even a real floppy, but you could use a real floppy. You know, you could take out the SideLoad2 floppy, put a blank floppy in, snapshot it, you know, do all that. There's just something about doing that and using the tech of old to do things that you've never done before, which really, really appeals to me. So what I mentioned about the personality thing, I'll probably do a quick insert here. And I think there was something else I was supposed to mention, but as I said at the top of the shop, I've probably forgotten it now. Whether there was something else I was supposed to talk about, and I honestly don't know. So I'll add in the instructions to create your own personality, how to add in the multiface. One thing I will say is I did try to get the ability to save snapshots to SD card, and the way I went about trying to do that was to load the ESX DOS in into the personality along. Hold on, let me just do a proper reset of this. Yeah, so I tried to add in the ESX DOS in addition to the multiface, and the intent was that I could snapshot the game. I could then switch off the expansion bus with was it NMI 6 to do an F6 to switch off the expansion bus. That would then open up ESX DOS, which it did. I could then browse the SD card. And then, of course, you can switch the expansion bus back on with, is it F5 or NMI 5? So the idea is you switch the expansion bus off, the SD card becomes available, and then you get the multiface to dump to the SD card instead. But it looks like the calls or something, or the API in ESX-DOS just doesn't know what to do. And it may require some tweaks to ESX-DOS to allow it to dump those kinds of things to the SD card. So the long and short of it is I tried it and I couldn't get it working, and I think there's something more technical that needs to be done. So yeah, that is it. Floppy disk part 3. 2 drives working at the same time. Multiface snapshotting a game to floppy, and I love it. Cheers.